am back, and today am going to be doing a fun get ready with me. I was going to be doing just like a chatty, easy, one of the same three looks that I do every single time, featuring my Pan That Palette kind of videos, and then I was like, wait, I have no plans except filming, and I'm supposed to FaceTime a friend later, but he's seen me like sitting in the corner eating peanut butter straight out of the jar, um, in my Olaf pajama pants. So even if this turns terrible, I'll be fine. So we're gonna do something fun. I have this album in my phone on Instagram, an album in Instagram of like saved photos that's just like makeup eye looks I want to try or like makeup looks I want to try. And there's this one woman, it's D. Alexandria. I think I'm going to link her handle in the description box below, but I'm gonna put in the pictures in just a second, where she does like a kind of winged out eyeliner, like a winged smoky hazy thing, and then some color in the inner corner and then on the lower lash line. I'll insert the pictures now so you know what I'm talking about. And then I was thinking I could create something similar. I'm deciding if I want to use Story or Poet. I am going to be using this palette because this is the most colorful palette I have with me right now. So vote now for orange or purple. It'll probably, see, I'm feeling purple, but I kind of want to play with the orange because I played with that one less. I'm not sure, but I kind of wanted to just like give it a go, try it on out, and see what happens, so that if it looks good, then I can film and it'll look good. And if it turns out terrible, I can redo my makeup and then film with boring makeup like I originally planned. So that is on the agenda today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like Get Ready With Me's, I'll have my playlist linked down below and my palette bingo series as well, so you can watch me apply eyeshadow for days. And without much further ado, let's hop straight into this video. So I don't want to do my whole face first, but I do need to lay down something. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Ilia concealer, and I'm just going to put this on my eyelids and a little bit under my eyes, so that I can have a somewhat base, so that my concealer and my foundation will actually blend together once I'm done with the eye look and I put on my foundation. Okay, so I moved the camera around a little bit because I wanted to be somewhat zoomed in so you can actually see what I'm doing, and also the closer you are, the more I can rely on the mirror that the camera is attached to, and I don't have to do the entire video like this, like I'm used to doing, because this is not helpful. It's my worst habit. It is my biggest pet peeve. If you guys watch Rach Loves, she has this thing where like there's editing Rachel and filming Rachel, and editing Jasmine hates it when filming Jasmine does that, but I don't realize I'm doing it. And sometimes I do catch myself doing it, and then I'll pull the mirror down, and then I'll keep blending, and then the mirror creeps back up, and it's a habit. So I've blended a little bit of concealer on my eyelids and like just kind of around my eye, just the tiniest bit, so that I have something to work with. And then I am going to jump straight into shadow, because these Tati shadows tend to work best when you just like commit to them a little bit, if that makes sense. Like the Tati shadows blend really well if you just use them, in my experience. I think it's just because they're very pigmented, but they don't offer a lot of kick up, and so sometimes when I try to blend like a softer, powderier shadow over them, things just get weird because the Tati shadow doesn't really want to move from where I've placed it, and then the other shadow like wants to go everywhere. Also, I'm not that great at eyeshadow, so shocking, I struggle with things that aren't this beginner palette. Okay, I'm going to first go into Aura, which is the matte cream shade, and I'm just going to fluff that lightly in my crease, kind of going brow bone all over my lid, let's be honest. I really just want to make it so that it's not sticky so that I can get a nice blend. But yes. How's everyone doing? Is everyone excited to watch me struggle through this? Because I am. Actually, I'm very excited. As I said, I don't have any plans for today. The Hollywood Improv, the day I'm filming this, if you subscribe to their little like email chain, they'll send you these little coupon codes, and you'll get like money off on tickets. And so tickets tonight are $5. I've never heard of any of the people who are performing, but I mean, their setup, their lineups are usually really good, so I'm tempted to just go full send it. Now I'm just going to take this MAC 263 brush. It is my ittiest bittiest liner brush, and I'm going to dip into the I lied. Okay. First, I'm just going to take the tiniest bit of Soothe, and I'm just going to really lightly diffuse that in the crease. Just because sometimes, I don't know, I don't like the look of a completely blank lid, even when I like it on other people, but I feel like my eye shape can't handle it a little bit, if that makes any sort of sense. Now that I have a little bit of something on the lid and crease, you probably can't even really tell, or Soothe is a very light color. Now I'm just going to go in with some Story on that 263 brush that I talked about, and I'm just going to wing it out a little bit. I'm not really worried about getting a super precise wing. I just want to get the shape so that when I blend everything out, things will match. I somehow managed to pretty much exclusively do like winged liner kind of looks in this little thing that I have, album, shared photo or saved photos album that I've made on Instagram. And then it's like in her inner corner, but not actually like in the crease. It's like slightly above the crease. Okay, look at me go. Okay, I'm covering my face. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just, for the placement. That orange is bright. I'm just gonna drag the orange a little bit on my lower lash line so that I can see how the wing is gonna look when everything's blended out. Do you ever do that? Like you'll start to do your you'll do your wing and then you'll do like your lower lash line or something, and then your wing looks completely different. Okay, now I'm just gonna take, also speaking of things looking completely different, I'm actually gonna do my brows really quick, just so that my eyes are framed. I don't know, sometimes it helps when I have more structure to my face to actually do the eye look. When I do try to do my eye look before my brows, usually I'll just completely forget to do my brows because I'll do the eye look with whatever amount of, framing I have, and then I don't think to like do more, which is shocking because my brows are probably the thing I notice the most about my face when they aren't done or they don't look the way I want them to. Things have been really good at work. I'm kind of behind on 2 of my projects, and it's one of those things where it's an exercise in patience for me because I need other people to do something for it. I'm not even allowed to do it myself. It's like setting up the online portion of the manufacturing document that I drafted. And it's like, I can't do this. Also, I'm not like authorized to do this or trained to do this. It's not something I can do myself, essentially. And to say the same thing over and over again. And so it's been pending to get like set up for over a week now, and it's like really stressing me out because my manager was hoping to have this project done by end of September. And I am filming this a little bit before this video will go up, I think about a week before. But that ain't happening. It's just not. And I mean, I could sit here and be like super stressed about it, but I know it's not happening, and that does kind of help me. And so now it is doing everything that I can on my end to get it done as soon as possible. But it is what it is. I look crazy right now. I'm just going to take this like flat top smudgier kind of liner brush and dip into the same Story shade, and I'm just going to line my upper lash line in a really smudgy way, not really focusing on the wing. I'm just, oh my goodness, that's transferring. And then I'm just going to take a completely clean blending brush, and I'm just going to start to kind of brush over that. And I'm going to, I have a tissue in front of me, and I'm going to be wiping this off just a little bit between each time I blend stuff out, just to try and keep things as even on both sides as possible. Smudging into the wing. And along the lower lash line. I'm just gonna take a Q-tip and just get like the underside of this orange line, because I put it down just a little bit too low and it's getting picked up in my crease. And then I'm going to go back in with that mostly clean brush and the shade Aura, and I'm just going to fluff it on the inner part of my eye. I'm actually going to do that on both sides just to bring in a little brightness. And then I'm going to take that same white Aura shade on that brush, and I'm just going to run it along the kind of underside of the wing, and again, clean off the clean brush. I have a color switch somewhere. I don't really know where. I think it is, well, yeah, a lot of the people who I really love the way they do their eyeshadow, like Haley O, she used to be called Just by the Makeup, I believe. I'm like pretty sure. I don't know when she made the switch exactly, because I was calling her Just by the Makeup in my head for a while after she officially switched. Which is probably why I keep calling her the wrong handle or channel name. Okay, so now's the point where I think I'm going to go and clean up the wing just slightly on both sides with that same trusty Q-tip. And then I'm just going to go and intensify the color just at the base of my lash line. Okay, I think the wing shape is how I want it. So now I'm going to go back to that inner corner and I'm just going to take this little smudgy brush with no excess product on it. And I'm actually just going to smudge, smudge, smudge. But I had a thought, that's, oh my god, my brain sometimes. I was going to say, a lot of the women who I really love the way that their eye makeup looks a lot of the time, they use like 7 brushes. And when I was younger, that was a little bit like, I thought that was a little silly because they would use like 7 like clean brushes. And I was like, ain't nobody got time to wash 7 brushes per day. Like, I realize they don't wash their brushes every single day, but like, then if you do your makeup like 6 or 7 days a week, like I usually like I used to, especially in high school, that's a lot of brushes. It's like 40 to 50 brushes per week. And like that means you have to have 40 to 50 brushes or else you're washing your brushes multiple times a week. Craziness. But I completely understand why. This is the having a bunch of different shapes, a bunch of different cleanness levels really helps you get a good like gradient. And back in with a little more product, I'm just building and then blending and then building and then blending and then building and then blending. Perfect. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to take a step back from the eyes and then do the rest of my face and then like come back and finish up with mascara and stuff after I'm done with my face. So for face, we're just going to be taking my trusty old sponge and my current mix of Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer in Tawny, which is just a little mini I got, but it's a little too dark. And this foundation, my Smashbox 24-hour photo finish foundation, which is a little bit too light, and then mix them together. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this is because my flashback today was the first time that I met a lot of my guy friends in university, because I met them through like a really, really good friend of mine who I've definitely talked about before on my channel. But it's his roommates, so I hadn't met any of the guys he was supposed to be living with my freshman year, so then last year we kind of all met for the first time. So actually I met Zach much later, but like I met most of them, or 2 of the 3 that I was going to meet 1 year ago today, if that makes any more sense. And my roommate Sally and I were like, let's get like dressed up, but let's get dressed up for us. Like, we haven't been able to get dressed up. The guys are coming over. We don't care about like impressing them or about them being like, wow, you know, they really do have good foundation game. Like, we didn't care about that, but we were like, you know, we'll make it fun. Like, it was going to be like a game night. We had Catan and some get to know you games and stuff like that. And the guys showed up, and hour late because my friend, who's dating my roommate, so, you know, she's the one who has to deal with this much more than I do, is terrible at communicating and getting places on time. So we told him 7. And I think he like jokingly went like, okay, we'll try to get there at 7. And we're like, okay, I'll get here around 7. They didn't get there until like 8:15. So we had a lot of time on our hands that evening. Um, so I did like this bright pink smoky eye with the Poet glitter from this palette on Sally, and I did this like gold look with a blue liner pop, like blue pop of colorful liner on the bottom lash line. It was so pretty. Both of our makeup I was just really happy with, and it was so much fun like doing our makeup together. And so that was a really fun night, like me and Sally getting ready, because then like Max got there and Sally was like, "What do you think of my makeup?" And he was like, "You look like you normally do," as if she wears bright pink eyeshadow every day, because he does not notice such things. Um, and then, you know, I was feeling myself with my bright blue eyeliner moment. And yeah, the rest is history. Now they're some of my best buds. Um, that night was a lot of fun. I think I talked about it. And a Get Ready With Me that happened like right after the game night in question. But anyways, so that was my Snapchat flashback memory today. And I was like, doing that makeup was so much fun. I can't wait until Sally and I are both back at university, and we can do fun looks like that again. And then I was like, why can't I do a fun look today? What's stopping me? Work? No, it's Saturday. Um, Social obligations? No, I'm antisocial. Like, you see, like, there's nothing. The world is my oyster, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna take some of my Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick and spice on the back of my makeup sponge, and I'm just gonna put that on as a little bit of blush, which realistically I probably should have done before concealer, but whatever, we're here, we've made our life choices. Okay, there we go. So I'm less like in your face, because that's just like a lot of me. Um, there's this great stand-up bit by Elijah Schlesinger where she talks about like, she has this bit called Party Goblin. So if you just search up Elijah Schlesinger Party Goblin, you will find plenty of like sets on it. This is kind of one of my favorite things about Eliza. Is she's someone who, if she, it like, this is gonna sound silly, but it like rewards her fans, because a lot of her stand up will like have little references to past things, or she'll build off of things like in she brings up Party Goblin in her first special, and then she talks about Party Goblin again in her next special, and I think again in her like third or fourth special. So like, if you've seen all of her specials, it's even funnier. You can enjoy her if you don't get all the little references. She's hilarious, and like that doesn't change. But it's nice to be able to really like enjoy it and like get to look for the little Easter eggs. And then the more, I love rewatching things. I just finished rewatching The Good Place for the 3rd time. But this time I was like really paying attention and catching all of the little Easter eggs, because the writers who wrote The Office, The Good Place, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Community, it's Dan Gore and Michael Schur. They're not the only 2 writers who worked on these shows, obviously, but they wrote on all of those shows, so the shows have kind of a similar sense of humor, if that makes any sort of sense. But you can tell that they put a lot of time and thought into their characters, into the sets. Like, you know, there's all these, you know how like sometimes like they'll catch movie mistakes where someone will be on the phone and the phone, it'll like show the homepage, like it won't show like a phone call in like when you can see around their face, and someone will be like, "Oh, gotcha," but they think of all of those things. Like they have a really cute picture of Amy and Jake as his like lock screen, and so like there's this like little teeny tiny second where he sets down his phone and it shows them as his lock screen, and like someone screenshotted it and that went around, and like it's adorable, but it just shows like how much thought that they put into those little things. um Anywho's, I really appreciate it, and so I really love their shows. Rewatching The Good Place has helped me find those Easter eggs, and Elijah Schlesinger's comedy is no different. She has a lot of really great reoccurring bits. The one where she's a pharmacist is hilarious. She does Party Goblins, a really good recurring bit. Like she mentions in her first special, she says hurting drunk girls is like hurting drunk stupid sheep. And so then when she's making these conversations between the girls, like on the girls' night, she keeps making this noise, and I thought it was a dolphin noise for the longest time, and then I went back and rewatched her first special. It's a sheep noise. She's making a sheep noise because she refers to them as sheep, and it is so funny. And I get, out of context, this may not sound hilarious, but really give her a watch. All of her specials except the first one, which is the best one. I don't know where you can find it, but all of her specials except the first one are on Netflix. Oh, my bronzer just broke apart. Sorry. So there's that. She is honestly so adorable. She's having a baby too. Oh, my newest addiction. I know that I do tend to talk a lot about like Bravo shows when I talk about like things I've been watching, but I can't watch the newest season of Beverly Hills until it's done, like until all the reunions air, and then it goes on to Hulu. So I'm behind. Please don't, please no spoilers. I have been like actively avoiding anything that might look like a spoiler on the internet. I will actually be very upset if this season gets spoiled for me because I am so emotionally invested. Like, Erica used to be my favorite housewife. And I know that sounds like really silly, but I would also, like whenever I say that, people are like, Erica's boring. Erica's this ice queen, blah, blah, blah. I realize now she's problematic. 2 years ago, people would say this, and I was like, look, none of these human beings are perfect. No human being on reality TV except Zac Efron and the guy who he did Down to Earth with. Those two are the only exception. Are perfect human beings. And so, like, picking your favorite housewife is like picking your favorite of the demons in Lucifer. You know what I mean? Like, you like the one that you like. There's not much you can do other than that. I'm going in with a little bit more contour today because, why not? As I've said, the only people who are going to be seeing me is everyone on the internet, so we're safe. And I'm just going to blend it out with my big fluffy brush again. But yes. What was I saying? Anyway, she used to be my favorite housewife, and like, I can't get past all of the legal stuff that's going on. I haven't watched anything past like the third episode because that's when I left my mom's house, so I stopped being able to watch it live. And so I don't really know what the newest updates are. All of my information on this is from like news sources. So like when I see headlines in the news that are in like real time. So she can't be my favorite housewife anymore, obviously. Like, that would just be ridiculousness. But now who's going to be my favorite housewife? I was going to go on a different topic of conversation, and I somehow still managed to, like, U-turn it back to housewives. Okay, I'm going to stay. as I was saying, since I can't be watching Housewives, I've been rewatching The Good Place, and I have been getting really into listening to stand-up podcasts at work. Oh, so much fun, especially because I realize that all of like my favorites are friends. Like, of course they're friends, like they all tour together and stuff like that, but it's like finding out that like J-Lo and Beyonce just like hang out for funsies. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you do things, like, you know people. And it's like, I love Bert Kreischer, he is hilarious, but when I found out that he's friends with Elijah Schlesinger, it made me like him more, because I was like, oh my god, she's so cool, and she likes you as a human being. I'm gonna go do my mascara really quickly, and I will be right back. Not gonna lie, got a little carried away, did a couple steps. I spritzed my face with some all-nighter, I did mascara, primer and lashes, the normal gist, and I tightlined my upper waterline with my brown Lancome eyeliner. So now that you're all caught up, I was just about to go in with this little, I call it my magic eraser brush, but it is a little like smudgy Eco Tools brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the shade Aura, and I'm just going to put that on my lid where I don't want orange, just to brighten and help that contrast between the skin tone color and the orangey fade. Okay, now that I've done that, I am going to go in with a little bit of highlighter. It's not where it's supposed to be, you know, as I left it there on purpose. I have the biggest zit coming in on my chin, and it's one of those things where I don't think anyone can really see it, but I can feel it, and so it's like kind of driving me crazy. Nothing like a good champagne pop moment to really I should just go out. You know, it's like 2 in the afternoon, but I should just like go to a club at 2 in the afternoon. Go dance by myself. Just me and the DJ. Anyways, I'm going to also pop a little bit of champagne pop on the inner corner just with my finger. So in both of the look that I was kind of inspired by, she did just a little bit of a different pop of color on the inner lower lash line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flat like shader brush and just dip the tip of it into my champagne pop shade and brush it on the inner lower waterline. And then when I was blending the orange, it kind of accidentally got in my waterline, but it's more on this side than on this side. So I'm just going to like put a little bit of that orange powder like in my waterline. Okay, that's the actually like very nice thing about how pigmented these shadows are, is you can do that and like it pops, and I don't have to put so much powder in my eye that like I start watering and then it just runs all out, you know? Back to the main of, oh goodness, I have glitter all over my hand now. And then last but not least, I'm just going to take a little bit of the Soothe Gold glitter on my fingertip, and I'm just going to pat it right over that lower lash line inner corner. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So now we just have lips. I am going to go in with that Anastasia Beverly Hills Spice lipstick. I have something weird on it, so I'm just getting that off really quick. And I'm just going to kind of outline my lips a little bit and then smudge it around. and that is the finished look, you guys. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I'm going to go FaceTime everyone I know to show this off. And yeah, that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sitting through this. I know this is going to be a long one because whenever I do fun eyeshadow, it's a long video. And that is everything that I have for you today. Have a wonderful, wonderful, amazing, stupendous, fantastic day wherever you are, and I hope to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.